Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for those of you that turned the assignment in on time. I was able to tally up all your answers and sort the cards in order from the most difficult to the ones that were the least difficult. I'm not saying that they were all, any of them were easy, but I just wanted to start in a particular order. So what I have is 15 minutes in my video, and I'll get as far as I can in the 15 minutes. So card number 31 was our first card that was voted most difficult. And so what I did, because this isn't a function that we're used to graphing, I went ahead and graphed it on Desmos. And so then we're going to consider, is y a function of of x, and is x a function of y? So if x is what we want as our domain, then we're going to be looking at the vertical line test. And if y is our domain, we're going to be looking at the horizontal line test. So think about this. The test is always going to be horizontal. The test is always going to be perpendicular to the axis of our domain. So if the x-axis is horizontal, then it's going to be perpendicular to that axis to see if we have a function. So if you notice, this function does pass the vertical line test. We do have an asymptote right here at -2, and we have an asymptote right here at +2. So there are no values at that. So because it passes the vertical line test, this would be true. But if we do the horizontal line test to see that if y was the domain, would it be a function? Do you see that? And I can turn it if I want, where this is my y-axis. Do you see that? To the right and to the left of the x-axis, we have situations where for each y value, there can be two x values. And so that means that that is not a function. So that means only one direction is a function. So from this point on, I'm going to shorten that up. I'm going to say either both, only one, or none, just to save a little bit of time and try to get through more cards. Okay, so let's move on to the next card, which is number 27. So number 27 is another card where where it says x is greater than 0. I didn't notice that. So that's going to be looking at this graph right here. And so this part is not included because it's only talking about domain values where x is, sorry, I got that backwards. We want this one, but we don't want this one because we're only talking about where x is less than 0. So do you notice that this is the same as saying y is equal to -1 as long as x is less than 0? And it would also be y is equal to +1 if we let x be greater than 0. So in this case, do you see that we do pass the vertical line test? So we can say y is a function of x, sorry. But if we did the horizontal line test, do you see that we have infinitely many points where y is equal to -1? So x is not a function of y. And so that means that this would also be only one of the directions would be a function. All right, so then the next one in line was question number 32, or card number 32. And this one is kind of combining two different graphs. So let's see what I can do here. And we could do negative as well. So let's see what we're going to do here. I can't even move over. So if we let x be 1, do we agree 1 is odd? And when I square that, I get +1 for y. When x is equal to 2, that's even. And so the square root of 2 is going to be just a little bit more than 1, isn't it? Because it's a little more than the square root of 1. When x is 3, that's odd, and 3 squared is 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. When x is 4, that's going to be even, so we take the square root of 4, which is 2. When x is 5, that would be 25, which would be a dot somewhere off of the charts here. And when x is 6, the square root of 6 is going to be a little bit more than 4. Sorry, The square root of 6 is going to be a little bit more than the square root of 4, so a little bit more than 2. So what's happening is we have the square root function that's looking like this. And then we have the quadratic of y equals x squared that is looking something like this. Okay, and we're only talking about where they're integers. So at 1, we use the quadratic, at 2, we use the square root, and at 3, we use the quadratic, and at 4, we use the square root, and at 5, we use the quadratic, and at 6, we use the square root. And so something that we notice is if we take a look at our vertical line test, it passes that vertical line test. So that means y is a function of x, because that vertical line test is perpendicular to the x-axis. And then if we come along this way, for every y value, there is exactly one x value. So that means x is a function of y. And so this would be a situation where that is both. And I didn't have my list, so I'm not sure. I will check that and I'll make any notes in the directions if I see any problems with my answers. All right, so then the next one is another graph that we did start learning about in Algebra 2, but my understanding is the graphing wasn't strong on that. So I, again, did this on Desmos. And since you can't take the log of 0 or a negative number, there's actually an asymptote right there. And so then the log goes this way. So natural log is the log base e. And so again, if I follow along my x-axis with the vertical line test, we could say that y is a function of x. And if I do the horizontal line test, it works as well. And so x is a function of y. And so that would be both. Okay, so then moving on to the next one, we're going to look at question number 8. So it's talking about a piece of paper is folded in half, and then it's folded in half again and again. And what is the relationship between the number of folds? And so let's do this as like a little table. So we have an x and a y. So x is representing the number of folds, and y is the thickness. Now, let's say that if I have 0 folds, the thickness is going to be like 1 millimeter. So when I make that first fold, that means I'm folding the paper, and then when I measure the thickness, there's twice as much paper available to measure. So now that's going to be 2 millimeters. And then when I fold it again, that means I have 2 on one side and 2 on the other. So that's going to be 4 millimeters. And when I fold it again, I'm going to have double that, which is 8 millimeters. And so it's asking about the relationship between those two. So do we see that this is a one-to-one relationship? If I went to graph this, I would have 0 is at 1, 1 is at 2, 2 is at 4, 4 is at 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So notice this is a type of quadratic right here. And so the quadratic passes the vertical line test and it passes the horizontal line test. So this would be a situation where both directions, that y is a function of x and x is a function of y, since they both work, that would be a both. All right, so then if we take a look at 11, we're used to graphing absolute value that says y equals, but we're not as used to graphing it when it says x equals. So using Desmos, this is the graph that I got. So if we notice, this does not pass the vertical line test. So y is not a function of f. But if I try to do the horizontal line test, I touch one point at a time. So when it comes to the horizontal line test, x is a function of y. And so because it's not a function of x, but it is a function of y, that would be in one direction. It would be a function. All right. So then if we take a look at the next one on our list, number 12 said each 2 hours, a candle burns down an inch. What is the relationship between the time elapsed and the height of the candle? So we're going to have the time elapsed and the height of the candle in our table or our graph or whatever we want to use. So we could have time as 0, so every 2 hours. So we could have 2, we could have 4, we could have 6. And then it says it burns down 1 inch. So in 0 hours, we get 0 inches. In 2 hours, we get 1 inch. In 4 hours, we get the second inch. And in 6 hours, we get the third inch. So if we look at this on a graph, at 0, we have 0. And then at 2, we're up 1. And then at 4, we are up 2. And at 6, we're up 3. So if you notice, my scale is not wonderful, but this is a linear equation. And in this case, it passes the vertical line test, so y is a function of x, and it passes the horizontal line test, so x is a function of y. And so that would be a situation where in both directions we would have a function. All right, so the next one is going to be number 16, and it says a certain job requires 120 hours of work to be completed. And it says, assuming the workers work the same number of hours, what is the relationship between the number of workers required and the number of hours each one works to finish the job? So we're going to have number of workers. So we'll call that W maybe. And then we have the number of hours. Each one does the job, and so that would be like time. And I believe it said everybody works the same amount of hours. So obviously we wouldn't start with 0 workers because nothing would get done. So if we start with 1 worker, that means that that 1 worker would have to do all 120 hours of the job. The second worker comes in and they get half of it. So that means there's now 60 hours per person to make 120. The third one comes along, and if I divide 120 by 3, I get 40 hours per worker. The fourth one comes along and we get 30 hours per worker. And the fifth one comes along and we're getting, 24 hours per worker. So if we take a look at that, and I'm just going to sketch this one because we're a little bit out of our league up here with that 120. So at 1 hour, we're up here at like 120. And then at 2 hours, we're halfway up. And then at 3 hours, we're a third of the way up. And then at 4 hours, we're a fourth of the way up. And at 5 hours, we're like a fifth of the way up. So it's almost like, well, actually, we wouldn't connect that because we can't have half a worker. But do we see how it's almost like a exponential that's coming down or quadratic, something like that? But one thing I want to notice is I do pass the vertical line test, so y is a function of x. And I pass the horizontal line test, so x is a function of y. So that would be a situation where both directions form a function. All right, I got a minute and 20 seconds. Let's make this happen. So we've got y is equal to sine of x. So I'm going to use Desmos to do the sine function right here. And so if we notice, as I pass my pen along, there's exactly one y value for every x value. So that means y is a function of x. But if I draw in a horizontal line, I hit actually infinitely many points along the way. So it is not a function of y, if y is the domain. So this one would be only one direction gives you a function. When we talk about number 20, it says when a football team's punter kicks the ball's height changes as time passes from the kick to the catch. So it says what pattern seems likely to relate time to height. So we're going to assume that they're talking about when he kicks it from the ground. As time goes up, it's going to start up. And then as time passes, it's going to come back down. And so that means that it does pass the vertical line test, but it does not pass the horizontal line test. And so this one would be only 1. and that's as much time.